Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, come on, let's wake up. Everybody, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's such a pleasure to have you join us this morning for Shabbat morning services here at the temple and for the Bat Mitzvah of Emory Rothschild. We invite you all to participate in the service. Our service is being led by Emory, largely, in Mishkan Tefillah, the prayer book of Reform Judaism. We'll be kind of giving you pages as you can go along. General rule, if it's indented, that's our part, or if the rabbi's reading, once things started, that's our part. Emory will take care of everything else. Please join us in our opening song, which is Hine Ma Tov. You can find the words on page 10. Turn now to page 169. It is not we alone who pray, all things pray. All things pour forth their souls. The heavens pray, the earth prays, every creature, every living thing prays. In all life there is longing. Creation itself is but a longing, a prayer to the Almighty. What are the clouds, the rising and the setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon, and the gentleness of the night? What are the flashes of the human mind and the storms of the human heart? They are all prayers, the outpouring of a boundless longing for God. We turn to the Matovu, which can be found on page 172.
Turn to the bottom of page 178. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Adonai our God, make the words of your Torah sweet to us and to the house of Israel your people, that we and our children may be lovers of your name and students of your Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of Torah, to our people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah la'amo Yisrael. Elu davarim she'ein lachem shior. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Please rise and turn to page 195. Baruch Adonai Hamvara, Baruch Adonai Hamvara Leolam Ba'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoshe, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hami'ir la'aretz veladarim aleha barahamim, uvtuvo mahadesh b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh vereshit. Ma'rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'hokma, asita mala ha'aretz kinaneha, titbraha Adonai Eloheinu, al shava ma'aseh yadeha, V'al ma'orei or sha'asita yafaru hasalah. Or hadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nitzke kulanu mehera le'oro baru atah Adonai yotzer hamorot. Please join me. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning, my Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hameorot. Turn to page 199. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one unifier of humanity.
We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose.
May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher be'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elchaha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ileh asher anki mitzavaha hayom al levaveha v'shinantan leveinecha v'dibarta bam b'shivteha b'veiteha uv'lekteha v'derech uv'shogbeha uv'kumeha uv'shartam la'ot al yadeha v'hayu latotafot bein eineha uktavtam al matozot beteha uvish arecha. Lema'an titkaru va'asitem et chol mitzvotai ve'heten kidoshim le'elohehem ani Adonai Elohehem asher hoteti ethem me'eretz mitzroyim liot lahem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohehem.
You
to page 203 as we read together. Sing the
Sing the
song of men and women, join in understanding and respect.
The song of God's miracles,
and earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children in the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Please rise and turn to page 205 for the tefillah. Adonai Safatai Tifta Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baru Atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim, Tovim, Bekonei, Hakol, Betzoker, Hasdei, Avot, Ve'imaot, Umevi Geula, Livnei, Venehem, Lama'an, Shimo, Be'ahava. Melech Otzer Uma Shia Umagain Baru Atah Adonai Magain Abraha Be'etzra Serah. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they saw you in their lives, their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baru Atah Adonai Magain Abraha Be'etzra Serah. We read together. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions, waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, Eternal Teacher, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvah, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
Adonai
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
We turn now to the prayer for peace, which can be found on page 61. Page 61.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai hamvorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We continue now with silent prayer. Page 253, in the middle of the page, you'll find the words to the Mishaberach, a prayer for hope and courage, for healing and the building of a better world. We ask these words on behalf of all those in need of healing, those in hospitals or nursing homes, those receiving care at home, for all who are in need of healing care and for all who provide that care for all of us. We ask this blessing, Mishaberach. Please join us. Turn now to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of the Torah on page 245. Will the congregation please rise? Teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Adonai
our God and God of our ancestors, I stand before this sacred assembly proclaiming that I chose to be a part of the people of Israel, a part of its heritage and its fate bound by its commandments. Give me strength to follow your path and to be a source of pride to my family, my community, and my people. How greatly we are blessed, how good is our portion, how pleasant our lot, and how beautiful our heritage. Blessed we are when we sanctify your name and declare, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You can follow along in the purple handouts as Emory introduces and does the blessing before the Torah.
Our Torah portion is taken from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, beginning with verse 18. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bahar banu mihol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Shoftim v'sharim titen lacha b'chol sha'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten laha lishvatecha v'shavtu et ha'am mishpat tzedek lo titeh mishpat lo takir panim v'lo tikah shochad ki hashochad Ya'aver einei hakamim, v'salev divrei sedikim, sedek sedek tirdov, lema'an tehye v'rashta et ha'aretz, asher Adonai Elohecha noten la. Lo tita lecha esera ko'etz atzel mitzvah Adonai Elohecha asher ta'asela velo takim laha matzeva asher sanei Adonai Elohecha.
Beautiful. Read English.
Appoint judges and officials for yourselves from each of your tribes in all the towns the eternal your God is giving you. They must judge the people fairly. You must never twist justice or show partiality. Never accept a bribe, for bribes blind the eyes of the wise and corrupt the decisions of the godly. Let true justice prevail, so you may live and occupy the land that the eternal your God is giving you. You shall not set up for yourself a sacred pillar which the Lord your God hates. You shall not sacrifice to the eternal your God an ox or sheep which has a blemish or any defect, for that is a detestable thing to the eternal your God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam noten betokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. The Torah back.
V'zot ha'torah asher sam Moshe b'ifnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot ha'torah asher sam Moshe b'ifnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai b'yad
page 254. Our Haftorah portion is taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, beginning with verse 1. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza v'divrahem hane'emarin ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher b'Yisrael, u'Moshe avdo Israel, amo u'v'nvi'eh ha'emet v'asadek. Shim'u Elah rodfei tzedek mevakshei Adonai, argia karov sidki yatzah, ish'i utzroah, amim yishbatu, Elah iyim yakavu ve'al seroi yeyahilun. Se'u lashamayim, einechem ve'habitu, al ha'aretz mitahat ki shamayim, ki yashan nimlahu, ve'ha'aretz kabaged, tivle V'yashvecha kemuchen yamutun Yeshuati le'olam tiyeh v'sidkati lo tehat. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness and who seek the eternal. My righteousness draws near speedily, my salvation is on the way, and my arm will bring justice to the nations. The islands will look to me and wait and hope for my arm. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, look at the earth beneath. The heavens will vanish like smoke, the earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants die like flies. But my salvation will last forever, my righteousness will never fail. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sorchol haolamim, sadik b'hol hadorot ha'el, hane'eman ha'omer, V'osei hamdaber umkayem shehol devarav emet v'asadek. Al haTorah v'al ha'avodah v'al hanvi'im v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenanta ta lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdosha v'limnucha likavod u'tifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anaknu modim lach umbarkim uta Yitbara Shimcha B'fi Chol Hai Tamid Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Thank you everyone for being here today. I've worked very hard to become a bat mitzvah, and I'm so glad to be able to share this accomplishment with you guys. My Torah portion is about justice, appointing judges, judging people fairly, and being a fair ruler. Some people today are still not treated fairly. Many people are still being mistreated and misjudged. The Torah teaches us that we should be treating everyone fairly because we are all supposed to be equal. We all deserve equal rights, and no one should see anyone else as less important as a person. In order to judge people fairly, you need to actually listen to what people say and need. On my journey to becoming a bat mitzvah, I've really begun to understand Hebrew and how to chant my Torah portion. It was really hard to do, but thanks to good tutors and a lot of practice, I'm finally able to share with you. For my bat mitzvah project, I decided to help out the homeless by making blankets and food and donating toys. This project was important to me because I like giving back to people and helping make the world a better place. Becoming a bat mitzvah is a big tradition for Jews, and doing this makes me feel more grown up and more connected to my Jewish community. And now that I've become a bat mitzvah, I would like to thank some people who have been there for me while preparing for today. Mom, thank you for always encouraging me and just helping with living and doing everything for me. I really enjoy spending time with you. I enjoy shopping with you when we are on vacation or just at the mall. I love the time we spent cooking and baking together. I appreciate that you worked so hard to make everything perfect for today. Dad, I love the time we spent hanging out with each other. You are so interesting, funny, and smart, and I love learning new things about you. I appreciate when you drive me places and encourage me to try my best at school. I love you and I hope to be like you someday. Reagan, thank you for being such an amazing older sister. I appreciate all the time you spend with me, shopping, cooking, and watching movies together. Thank you for always being there for me. I love you. Trey, thank you for being such a good brother and for always being encouraging and supportive of me. I enjoy hanging out with you and playing video games together. Thank you for always being there to make me laugh. I love you. I want to thank all my cousins, aunts, and uncles for making all of our trips so fun. I love visiting you guys and going on vacations together. I'm so glad that you are here today to celebrate my bar mitzvah with me, and I miss all of you that couldn't make it here today. I love you all. Bubby and Poppy, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate all the time we spent together, and I love when you guys tell me stories about when I was little. I know how excited you both were about my bar mitzvah, and I'm so happy you are here. Mimi and Papa, although you are not with us anymore, you are with us in spirit. I know you are looking down on all of us today. I love you and miss you. I want to thank all my teachers and tutors for helping me learn Hebrew and become a bar mitzvah. Rabbi David, Rabbi Rapport, and Mariah, thank you for helping me prepare for this day. I also want to thank all of my old and new friends for being here to celebrate with me today. You are all so important to me, and I appreciate all the time we spend together. Lastly, I would like to thank all the out-of-town guests for taking the time to come and celebrate with me today. Shabbat Shalom.
Emory Jillian, I'm so impressed and proud at how well you did today and with all your preparation. But I want to let everyone know who you are from your dad's perspective. To start, we found out you were on the way the same week that Papa died, so he never knew his completed full dozen grandchildren. But seeing how you would light up with Mimi, Bubby, and Poppy, I know you two would have gotten along fabulously. And as soon as you were born, you were immediately greeted by 6 of your older cousins on your first day, and they were certainly excited to see you. From as soon as you could, you would always have a big smile and infectious laugh. Everyone around you had no choice but to be happy. Very early in your life, we could see you had an imaginative style and flair that is all your own. From hair bows and headbands, princess dresses like no other, to formal outfits, you always then and still now decisively know just the right thing to wear to make yourself stand out in the crowd while still being tastefully appropriate for the occasion. One of my favorite memories when you were little was watching you and Trey playing all the time, nearly inseparable. Shannon and I would joke that you two looked like a little old couple. And we would always laugh when people asked if you were twins. Other things I remember, you started reading Pinkalicious at about 3 years old. Well, actually, no. You completely memorized it word for word based on the pictures on each page. An even more amazing feat, in my opinion. Another is that you would bring me very intricate artistic pieces you had created. I didn't know what some were supposed to be, but I always enjoyed seeing them on my desk. Over the years, you've done some very interesting projects, especially your constantly changing bedroom walls, complete with paintings, beads, old music albums, CDs, and even discs taken from inside computer hard drives. Your artistic nature extended to your mitzvah project of making unique blankets for the Providence House. Last but certainly not least, you have the greatest quality of all, compassion for others, especially those less fortunate than you. Seeing the best in everyone, willing to help out or just give a big smile to make their day better. So now here you are, bat mitzvah, ready as always for new challenges and adventures, smiling your big smile, showing all your exciting artwork, and lending a helpful hand to those around you, making sure everyone will get to be part of your journey. Knowing you as I do, it will definitely be an exciting, uniquely Emory journey. And remember that all along the way, wherever you go and whatever you do, you are always loved by your mother and me, your brother and sister, and all the rest of your family and friends, including those no longer with us.
Emory. First, I would like to thank everyone for coming today. I am thankful to this temple and the staff that were able to actually have a large in-person bat mitzvah service. Thank you to the rabbis, the teachers and tutors that worked with Emory over the years to get her to this important time in her life, and to the beautiful music provided by Jennifer and Dr. Bailey. Our hearts are full that we have so many friends and family that are able to be here and travel for this special occasion, In addition to our local friends and family, it makes it so special to have you all here today. Emory, we are beyond proud of you. I know some of you have not been to a bat mitzvah before. Becoming a bat mitzvah is not only about leading the service and reading from the Torah, but also about the process, the maturity and dedication of years of study to get to this point. Emory, you did a wonderful job. You were and are fabulous. I not only went to celebrate your childhood, but also your passage into spiritual adulthood. And it's so special to even watch you with my talit that I wore just a mere 34 years ago at my bat mitzvah. Emory Jillian, as you know, you're named after your great aunt Elaine Cookie Dreer and your grandfather Edward Rothschild, in addition to your great uncle Joel Dreer. They are looking all down on you today with much pride, in addition to your beautiful grandmother Frances. Although Elaine passed away when she was only 13, the stories of how talented and funny she was seem to be traits that have been passed to you. And your uncle Joel, who I was very close with, was so brilliant and quick-witted, which also seems to be traits you have inherited. I love your humor. You always have the best remarks and funny comebacks. Emory's Hebrew name is Eliana Yafa. Eliana translates to God has answered in Hebrew, and in Greek means daughter of the sun, which is so fitting. The name Yafa means beautiful in Hebrew. You are all those things to us and more. You are a beautiful ray of sunshine. Having you completed our family. Well, that and our 2 puppies have completed our family. And while I do get to have your sole attention, no art projects in process, no book in your hand, no Instagram feed or Snapchat or text to read, I get to share with you that you have been a beautiful gift to us, and that you have been a beautiful and special gift to the world ahead of you. I love how you have always advocated for yourself. You're my 3rd child. I can have a long speech. You've always advocated for yourself. You stand up for what you believe in. You are so creative and always thinking out of the box. I want you to never lose that unique creative streak. My darling Emmy, a beautiful soul who's no longer a child, not yet fully grown, I love you to the moon and to Saturn. And it's no easy feat to be a 3rd child, the baby of the family. You're uniquely lovely and elegant on the outside, and on the inside even more. What I truly admire about you is that you live your life out loud, in your quiet way, and in the present moment. Inside the increasingly sophisticated and grown-up young lady standing before me, taller than me, in your chic dress and high heels, is a kid. You are courageous, adventurous, curious, and artistic. You show me colors you know I can't see with anyone else. You are wise and thoughtful. You are empathetic, kind, and compassionate. You are so wonderful taking care of all your pets. You are a true, dedicated friend. Your big heart, too, is fierce. It came already cracked wide open to soak in the love around you and shine it back into the world in your sweet way. During the course of your bat mitzvah studies, you learned about the transition from childhood to adulthood. You studied the importance of being responsible for your actions, for recognizing that as an adult you will have certain obligations to society, to your community, and to your family and friends. And while you don't exactly understand it yet, the future you inherited is a complex one. The challenges your generation will face will sometimes seem insurmountable, but Dad and I have no doubt that you will contribute towards improvement of lives of others in meaningful ways. Life was a willow and it bent right towards your wind. Remind yourself to not be so serious, that happiness can most easily be found in the simplest of things. That humor can make the responsibility of being an adult easier to assume. Keep the gift of creativity and curiosity alive and well. Continue always creating a colorful, beautiful space around you, like you always do, especially with your room, where some people just hang a picture on their walls or a photo on their bedroom wall. I love that you decorate every inch of your space, even your ceiling. I hope you share your gift and paint the world with your colorful imagination. Most importantly, Emory, as you continue to make your beautiful way in the world with youthful exuberance, remember always how much your father and I love you. I hope you continue to be close with your siblings. Know that every waking moment of the day, your proud mom and dad have hearts filled with love and joy and unyielding admiration for the beautiful soul you have already become, and for the beautiful joys you will bring the world today and always. Soak this day in. Enjoy seeing all your family and friends that love you. Hold on to the memories. They will hold on to you. I believe it was a great philosopher, Winnie the Pooh, who once said, "You are braver than you believe, you are stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think." And as Taylor Swift says, "Darling, I fancy you and I love you madly." Oh, I love you.
Congratulations, Emory.
Thank you.
Underneath the pulpit in front of you, there's a pile of gifts for you. Do you see the pile of gifts? Put them out on the table. Thank you. Yes, that's perfect. Just put that in front of you. So that'll become relevant in the conversation very soon. I want to congratulate you on leading our congregation so beautifully this morning. And a point of personal pride, the beautiful way in which you chanted the Torah. And I want to really emphasize how beautifully, accurately, and perfectly you chanted that, because I'm going to mention at this point that there was a problem in her Torah portion, and it's not her, actually. It's actually written into the Torah. It's one of those little mysteries. I'm sure you all noticed this as she was chanting it. There's a word that's double. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdov. Remember that part? That almost never happens in the Torah. The same word comes one after another in the Torah, and that's the word for justice and righteousness, which is what her entire Torah portion is about. And there has to be a reason for that. Of all places there. The only other time I can think of is actually God's name, which is repeated as God is blessing the people of Israel and Moses as we go forth onto our journey to the land. So this piece has become this justice, justice shall you pursue piece of your Torah portion. It's become so famous that it's become like the signal of justice, for our people for generations. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg had it like emblazoned over her desk because it meant so much to her to be a part of that system of justice. The rabbis struggled with it for a long time, and they've come up with some interesting answers as to why that word needs to be repeated, justice, twice in your Torah portion. And the answer they came to is that the first tzedek, the first word justice, it refers to our responsibility to look back on the generations of our people and the justice that we have struggled for throughout our history. And in your bat mitzvah, there are elements of this history, looking back upon that justice, that righteousness that goes back. Behind you, the talit over the chair with the certificate next to it is a moment of remembrance that you've chosen to do along with your family in twinning in your bat mitzvah with a young woman who perished in the Holocaust and was not able to become a bat mitzvah, Miriam Rothschild. And your ability to be able to take this moment of your joy and look back on that time of our people's struggle and to remember someone that they might live on, that's an image of that looking backwards in justice. It's a just act. Also, in your family for generations have been leaders of this congregation, all the way back to the founding of this place 180 years ago. That puts a certain degree of responsibility upon you, but as your mother said, and your father's family, and the generations of your ancestors looking down on this moment, who built a place here and a movement throughout the country and throughout the world where men and women, boys and girls would be educated, trained, at lead services as equals. The fact that you would be standing here in this generation, having really become a bat mitzvah, much as I'd like to take any credit for it, of your own. I mean, sitting in your home, in your room, with rabbis and tutors across a computer screen, you've somehow figured the process to be able to stand here with poise and beauty and the ability to be able to lead an entire congregation who've gathered together for this moment. Your past has brought you to this moment, but the future, that second tzedek, that's yours to build. Now, in that bag, you'll find a tzedakah box. You see it in there? The word tzedakah comes from this same root, tzedek. And it's a reminder, there's all kinds of lovely gifts in there for you. We get to be the first ones to give her bat mitzvah gifts. But that image is something that, there we go, that you already know so well. The responsibility to give back to your community, to do acts of justice, tzedek and tzedakah in your life. And you started that as a bat mitzvah, making beautiful blankets and sharing your joy with others, remembering our past and looking forward to our future. But what I'm looking forward to most of all is for you not becoming a bat mitzvah, but being one in our congregation. A leader and someone who for generations still will be looked back upon as someone who helped carve a path for all of us to share. Mazel tov. I have a blessing for you. This blessing, too, comes from thousands of years ago. It's the blessing that we were given by God to the people of Israel, that we might bless the children of Israel with these words. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you from harm. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted unto you, Emory, and grant you always the blessing of peace. Amen. We have an anthem for you. You can have a seat. Thank you. To remember this day, L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. Continue now on page 283 with the adoration, our concluding service. The congregation will please rise. Please join me in the middle of page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Please be seated. With thanks and congratulations to Emory, we continue together on page 287 as we read at the top of the page. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Amen.
turn now to the bottom of page 291. There are stars up above. So far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we've loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. This week in our congregation, we remember particularly the names of John A. Danello, Shirley Tanchester Reese, Dorothy Bath, Samuel Berg, Jacob Maurice Bleeden, Leon Blumenson, Louis Brownstein, Irving Coslow, Lawrence Richard D., Rona Dichter, Sidney Dichter, Ada England, David Feynman, David Fleischhacker, Henry Frank, Ruth Gerstein, Stephen Goodman, Isabella Gottlieb, Samuel Jacobson, Lois Joseph, Harry Klein, Augusta Lang, David Margulis, Doreen Myers, Norma Parazelli, Morris Perlmutter, Benjamin Rubin, Edward Sagg, Hortense Plathoff Sandai, Edna Hyman Schuster, Harriet Spiegel, Ronald Sternberg, Nettie Tostein, Samuel S. Turk, Jacob Carl Turk, Sylvia Waller, Dorothy Wasser, Ruth Zucker, Helene Zukoff. In recent days, Ruth Sobel, Joshua Backrack Fink, Bruce Harlow. And names we remember from Emory's family: Edward and Frances Rothschild, Joel Dreer, Sandy Melrose, Mary DeWeek, May and Joseph Melrose, Ruth and Harry Sobel, Sidney Dreer, Frank and Ruth Hoffman, Emmanuel and Minna Rothschild, Frank Jr. and Lucille Hoffman, Harry Sr. and Shirley Hoffman, Ed Van Dusen and Taylor Gurnett. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for blessing as we rise together for Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, balma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'gala u'vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba m'vorach le'olam umei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu, le'lo min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comforting all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Our closing song is Oseh shalom. Please, it's Od Yavo shalom. Bring peace, and bring peace now.
Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Oyavo Shalom Aleinu, Oyavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akulam.
We have one last prayer. Emory and her family invite you all to join just outside those doors in a large tent in luncheon to celebrate her becoming a bat mitzvah. So we need to say a blessing over bread that we might begin our celebration. Please join me. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Te'avon, please enjoy the celebration. Mazel tov, Emory.